What's up? KINGRORA here, back with another video. And in today's video, I'm going to be showing you how to make skins on War Thunder. Now, this can be used for tanks and planes. I'll probably split this into two videos actually. This first video is going to be the aircraft side of things, and then the second video will be on the tank side of things. Because the skins kind of work slightly differently depending on what you want to do to them. Anyway, so the example we're going to use for the plane is the French MD450 battle gun. I'm sorry if I said that wrong, I'm not French, but we're just going to stick with battle gun. So what we're going to use the battle gun for our example here. So obviously you're going to need the SD, well, you don't have to have the SDK, but if you want to make skins for planes that you don't have or vehicles you don't have, I recommend getting the SDK. And the SDK is just useful in general anyway, because you can get all the files from the SDK, whereas the game only gives you the stuff that is used. So for example, in the SDK we can get the bomb pylons that are on the bottom of wings of planes. Now if you generate the skin file from the game, which you will need to do, it won't give you the bomb pylons or any add-ons like this. So the SDK is good for getting these extra pieces from the game that you need. So as you can see, if we get our folder up, user skins, which is in your War Thunder. Okay, so here's the battle gun, what we made. And if you don't know, to create a folder for a skin, all you have to do is come to the plane or tank you want to create the skin for, go to customization, and then click this little magic wand tool. That will create a folder within the user skins folder wherever your War Thunder is saved on your PC. And then this is just a refresh icon. So as you can see, this is the folder that is made, but it's exactly the same because we haven't changed it yet. Anyway, so that's how you create the folder. So now we're in this folder. What we get is a battle gun. We get 2 A files and 2 N files. This applies for planes. Obviously the tank stuff will be in a different video, but anyway, onto the planes. So you have two types of files. You have an A file, as you can see here there's an A, and you have an N file. Now the N file controls the how should I put the surface of the aircraft, so it could be shiny, matted, chrome. So it kind of manages the light on the skin, if you will, kind of the lighting, shininess, whatever. And then the A files are the texture files. So this is where you put all like your stickers or decals or paint, whatever you want to put on the aircraft. And as you can see, there's 2 of each. So you have 2 texture files. One is normal and one is the damage. So what it looks like when it's damaged. And then we have a lighting file. I'm just going to call them lighting files. If you want me to call them something different, put that in the comments below. I don't mind, but I'm just going to call them lighting files just to keep this simple for everyone. So you get the lighting file for the normal texture and the lighting file for the damaged texture. Now, also you get the BLK that just assigns each thing to, like, in the game. You don't really need to mess around with that. We won't go too complex. It's just a simple tutorial. If you want me to go more in depth, I can make more in-depth videos on how to make skins. But yes, let's carry on. So we have TGAs. Now you can edit these. If we go into Photoshop here, this is the TGA open in Photoshop. Now if you guys can use GIMP, but I don't know how to use GIMP, so I mean, ask in the comments and ask other people, that's fine, but don't ask me. I have no clue how to use GIMP, I'm sorry. Photoshop, yes, I can help you, but GIMP, no, I can't help you, sorry. Anyway, so this is the TGA file that the game will give you. And as you can see, it's just unfolded, so as long as you know roughly what things look like and where they are, you'll be able to make the skin easily. But a little tip I have for you guys: if you can't identify where something is on the aircraft, grab a bright color like blue or green, and then place a dot on the area you think. So I mean, this is the cockpit obviously, but for the purpose of this video, I don't know what this is, so I wonder what this is. So we put the green dot on here, maybe a few places so we don't miss it, and then we will save this as the TGA, the normal one, because this is the texture file. Save that, and then when we go back into War Thunder, we can refresh this, And as you can see, our green dots appear, so we know what that part of the aircraft is. So that's what I do. I place green dots in places I don't really know what they are, and locate those dots on the aircraft so I know what the things are. Obviously, most things look like what they are, so most things are quite easy. Normally, the hard things are like little bolts and everything on the wheels because they're really small. But yeah, so that's kind of a tip to identify where things are. Now it's completely up to you how you do these things. Most people create a base layer of color. So if we create a new layer, let's say we want the plane to be this greenish color. So obviously you would do it more accurate than this. This is just an example video and help video. So people would make a base color on the aircraft like this. So this is the color of the aircraft. Obviously you do the whole thing, and then they would, or I would, reduce the opacity so you can see what you're doing. Add a new layer and call this rivets or bolts, whatever you want to call them. Grab a new brush. Now, so there's many ways you can approach this, depending on levels of realism and everything. You can go along and do the bolts one by one if you feel like that's the way you want to do it. So now if we turn this layer up, you can see the rivets are on top. And obviously it's all about layering, so it won't look good once you've just done a base coat and rivets, because it's just two colors. You need to add the scratching layers, method, everything like that. But for simple things, you don't really need to add the rivets. You can just do things like, if we remove that and bring the opacity up, you can mess around with these. So I mean, that would turn the plane to a darker green. You can still see the rivets through it, but you can see that the color is actually still greenish. That one, no. I mean, you can just scroll down these and find one if you don't want to do all the rivets and body lines and stuff. I mean, I can understand why, but I mean, it gives a good result if you spend time on it. So I mean, you can do that. I mean, for things like these, so say you didn't want the French symbols, the easiest way to actually remove these is do the base coat layers, so you paint over the top of it. If you want to do it the quick way, it doesn't look good, but it works. You can always make a duplicate of your background as well, as you can always go back to the original. But you can, I mean, it depends how much is actually round the thing itself. So you can do that. I mean, the rivets don't matter too much, and then you can grab your clone stamp and kind of draw these lines back on, if you will, but maybe sampling it each time because it's a small line. You know, something like this. If you want to do it the quick way, if you want to do it the slower way, that will look much better. Do as I said, where it's like the layer beforehand. I mean, from far away, as long as you clone stamp this bit in, it won't look too bad. Because normally you would put another decal over that anyway, depending on what skin you're doing. But I normally do historical skin, so another thing will go over that. So that's normally fine for what I do. But I have made skins in the past that use the background layers. Okay, so once you've finished your main texture and everything, let's just, for an example, just so we can see that stuff is actually happening, let's just draw some blue lines, you know. I mean, you probably won't do that, but this is just for like an example. So save it as a PNG, as the same thing, just a PNG. This is what I do, or a JPEG, doesn't matter, just a picture file. And then open your damage file. See, the game won't actually read this because it's a PNG and it doesn't understand PNGs. So we open our damaged TGA or DDS, whichever one you prefer using, and then we can open up our PNG as well. I think that's some alpha stuff, Cologne, but anyway, it doesn't matter because, as I said, it's just an example to show you how to get this onto the damage. So you've done this, but on your damage file, so the DMG, you will have an alpha layer, and on this alpha layer, as we turn it off, you can see, so black means there will be holes in the plane, and white means there won't be. So as long as you have this, whatever you change the black in this alpha layer will be a hole in the plane. So if you draw a massive black circle here, like that piece of the plane would be gone. I don't know how much it works. I don't know if you can paint the whole thing black and the plane just disappears. I've never tried that, so that'd be pretty interesting. Someone let me know. But yeah, so if we hide this, you can see that's the damage, and this is our file because it has all the stuff on it. Now you can go around and draw all the green spars and everything on like this, but if we save this as our damage file, TGA, and then go back into the game, we will also need to save this as the texture file just so we can see it in game. I also always save the PSDs as well so I can come back and edit later. That's quite important. So if we refresh this, we should have random blue lines. There we go. The blue doesn't actually look too bad. That's pretty cool. Anyway, so if we turn on the damage model preview, you can see now that there's actually damage in our plane. And we still have our texture, so it just overlaps it onto the texture, which is nice. So once we've been through all of this, that's our damage file here, and this is our texture file here. So the last thing you're going to have to do is open the N files. Now, most people don't touch these because you don't really need to, unless you're actually physically changing the shininess of the paint. So if it's like a chrome plane, you want it to be matted, you need to change this. But generally you shouldn't need to change this. You can just paint over these files. As I said, this is only for matting, gloss, chrome, whatever. And then the damage file of this is exactly the same, just the damage version. So yeah, as long as you don't move the damage around on here, then you won't have to change this. But if you do create your own damage on here, you'll have to put it on here. But we won't go into detail. It's just a simple video for today. Yeah, so that's how you make plane skins in War Thunder. I show the basic stuff for today. If you want a more in-depth video on how I make my skins, let me know in the comments below and I can make that. The next video will be the kind of basic how to make tank skins. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope this helps. If so, leave some comments below, leave a like on the video. Likes help a lot. Don't forget to subscribe for more videos. We're nearly at 1k, guys. We're nearly at 1k. Anyway, yes, don't forget to subscribe, like the video, comment, and I'll catch you guys next time. Peace out.